Is Thursday, July 16th. I'm recapping a trade from yesterday, July 15th. And first, I want to explain. I was having a little bit of difficulty with this one, but there wasn't much hard about it per se. It's more think out a little emotional before taking this trade. So, I have these semicircles here just marking out the actual levels because I kept getting caught up in the lower time frame while watching it. So, lower time frame, I've been watching it the whole week, so I'm seeing it come down to make a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and such and such. So, it's playing out bearish, and I'm expecting it to continue bearish. And watching it on a lower time frame, my own mistake. Start to see a lot of bullish momentum coming in, breaking even these highs over here. So now I'm starting to think, is the market reversing on me just because we have a little bit of extra movement here in the opposite direction of where I want price to be? But if you think about it, if you're buying goods or any form of entrepreneur, you don't even have to be an entrepreneur, but generally speaking, if you buy something, you'd want it to be relatively cheap, and if you're selling something, you'd want it to be expensive. So just think about that in a logical sense. If I'm expecting to sell it, the higher up it goes in price, the more of a chance I get to sell it. So I was just feeling emotional but not thinking logically. At the end of the day, I did recoup my mental space, which counts. We'll call it a win anyways. So how I got into this is saying we have a lot of bearish movement overall in terms of structure. I would do something like this just to make it a little easier to see. So starting from the highest point in this area and working on the 4 hours. We have this high creating this low in terms of highest point to lowest point. Now we have this low creating this lower high, creating this lower low. So now price comes back up here, giving us a lower high again. What would you expect it to do, considering it's been going down, coming up a little bit, going down, coming up a little bit? Obviously you would expect it to go down some more. So if you understand the structure overall, you should be able to just bypass any noise, which is what happened during this trade for me. Oh, wrong thing. So thinking about it like this and expecting it to just continue in the way that it is moving. I'm working on a small account, so I have like specific numbers that I'm trying to hit before I try to push for bigger numbers, so to speak. So 1 to 2 is exactly what I wanted to hit for this week specifically. I know there was a lot left on the table, but it is what it is. So in terms of the lines that I have written out here, with overall structure, at first I was considering this to be an actual lower high, and that's where my confusion was coming from, wondering if it might have been continuing up instead of going down. But really and truly that was just because I was looking at the lower time frame here and the 1 hour where you can see it's clearly going higher than here, but my structure is based off the 4 hour. I use the 1 hour to confirm whatever I'm seeing on the 4 hour and take advantage of it from there. So this is the last low in this bullish run, the last low point in a series of high points. So with it passing that low point, I want to see it come back up into this area during the time that I trade, which would be the New York session. And I have this as my only indicator on, just to remind me, hey, we're not trading outside of this tiny little box. So if it's not in here, I'm not really interested. So I got into that trade about 10 o'clock. Let me see if I can give you a better example. I usually get in on a 5 minute just because it gives me a better risk to reward. So yeah, you can see on this time frame now. Let me get rid of this too. So overall, the line shows where I'm trying to sell from. This line comes from that same area I was telling you about, the last low in a series of higher lows. So it's the last time that the structure is going up. If it comes below here and stays below here, it's no longer going to go up. It has no reason to. So on the 5 minute, during my preferred time frame, which is the New York, I know that I'm selling below this line here. All I needed to do during the time that I trade is continue to do the same thing that I was looking for above there. So in terms of structure, we have this as the last low in a series of higher lows. If it comes below here and stays below here, then it has no reason to go higher. But I got in around 10 just because I had the confidence. I didn't actually wait for it to come all the way down here. As soon as I saw it come below this level, I was pretty much okay with taking that trade. If it went against me, then it did. And it didn't actually go against me, so a win is a win. Now, in terms of leaving it on the table, if I had eventually moved this to break even, and just as you would have it, price came right up into break even. So in a literal sense, if I just, for example, forgot about the trade, or if I had more leverage to use, or if my goals were different at the time, I could have taken advantage of this entire run. But I'm satisfied with 1 to 2 because that's exactly what I wanted for my specific reasons this week. We'll call it a day.